Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sierra Made. If you're new here, I am a knitter and a crocheter that just makes anything that I love to look at. So, if you are returning, you know that I had a sweater on my needles in the last video. And I was very excited how it was working up. I was loving the German short rows on the neck and the double folded collar. And I am, of course, talking about the Zipper Sweater Light Man by Petite Knit. And I have finished that. And I've been working on a bunch of other things too. And trying to figure out my next project, and we're going to talk about all that. So, if you're interested in all that, like and subscribe to be tuned in for when I make new stuff, and so you can follow this journey with me. I am going to start with, obviously, the finished object. No, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna switch it up a bit because I feel like everybody does their finished objects first, right? So let's do whips. Okay. Right now, I only have one that I've been working on. I don't know what it was. I just started like wanting to get back into making socks. I missed it. It has been like a couple months since like I've made socks. So I had one. This is the one that I finished. I want to say I finished this like a month ago. And then like it just hung around in my bag. I got my little project bag here. Nothing fancy. I don't even know what the brand is, if there is a brand. Olive and Hill. I got this at a little place where they were doing kind of like yarn giveaway. I guess people were destashing. So I got this a couple months ago, and it has turned into my sock bag. So it's pretty perfect for that. I have a bunch of fingering weight yarn in there. Beautiful colors. But so recently I was like, I wanna finish this sock, you know? So, and this is, the yarn is the, I think it was either the December or January Yarnable package. I honestly don't remember which month it was. But since the last time I checked in with you guys, I got to the toe on the second sock. And I'm going to link a picture on where I actually was on this sock when I started it like a week and a half ago. It was like right here. Like I was like in the middle of the leg. And within 2 days, this is what I picked up. Instead of knitting on the sweater or anything else, I was like, I want to finish the sock. But of course, I still didn't finish it. I'm doing it on 9-inch circulars, which I actually love for socks. I gotta be honest, like that's my new favorite way to do it, because I used to do magic loop. But the 9-inch circulars honestly are super easy and go much, much quicker. So I have my little strawberry on there. So yeah, I mean, these are going to be done very soon. I mean, the next time I pick them up, I'm going to finish them. The one thing I do when I do 9-inch circulars for the whole thing, when I get down to the toe, I do switch to magic loop because it is easier. Because doing the decreases, once you get down to like those last 10 stitches, it's like there's no way you'd be able to do a Kitchener stitch off of this. I mean, maybe you could, but I just don't want to risk it and have it being stretched out for no reason. So that's where I'm at. Pretty little socks. And I love the colors. It's very pretty, if you can see that. It's like purple, green, blue, white. So those will be done very soon. And it's just a regular sock pattern that I always do. 64 stitches, 2x2 rib for the cuff. And then I did 25 rounds for the leg. And then slip stitch heel and gussets. The gusset is just regular decreases. And then the foot. And these are for me, so I know exactly how big they have to be and everything, so it's no worries there. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a regular toe where it'll be rounded, and that'll be it. So once I finish those will be in the next one when I finish those. But yeah, I love socks, and I kind of I always had like a sock going. No matter what project I was doing, I would always still have a sock on the needles. But it had been like a while, so I'm like, let me pull out my sock. So I'm glad I worked on that, as they're coming out real nice. Um, so the other things that I have three. I have, well, I don't even know if I can call the sweater completely done. But we'll talk about that. I was watching, because I want to try to get into sewing again. So I have my little sewing machine. And I don't know what it is. I was like, I made a curtain for my new craft room. I don't know if you noticed, I'm in a new area. This is a new little craft room for me. I got my little futon here, and it's so lovely. But this is my new space, and I have more space now where I can sew more. So I want to try to start making, garments for myself the best I can. But of course, that's another expensive hobby, right? If you sew or you knit, they're both very expensive, and getting fabric, it's not cheap at all. So that's kind of the hold up for that. But I do have a little bit of fabric, so I made a cute little pin cushion. I'll put the picture in here. So I was very happy about that, because I was like, I need a pin cushion, because when I was working on my curtain for this room, I was like annoyed that I had to keep going back into the little container for the stick pins. So I was like, I should just make a little pin cushion that can go around my wrist, and it'll be helpful. So I made that, and that was the last thing that I did on the sewing machine. So I don't know what I want to make, but I was rambling. But the reason I was talking about sewing is that I was watching a YouTuber. Her name is Sydney Graham, and she does a bunch of things sewing, and she does crochet also. So I was watching her and some of the garments that she made, and I like really like some of the stuff that she was making, that I watched anyway. And um I was watching her last vlog that she did, and she crocheted these cute headphone covers for her AirPod Maxes. So I just happen to have those headphones. So I was like, oh my God, I love that. And it's just a granny square pattern, like super simple. So I was like, I'm going to do that. So that I did. And here they are. Oh, popped off. I have to actually get the buttons sewed onto here. But I'm going to work on that. I guess they're not fully a finished project because of that. But I finished the crochet part of it anyway. So I'm going to, I just put a little button right here. And I'm going to make a chain of like 8 or 10. So it'll connect around this. So, and I have the buttons picked out. I'm going to show you. But those are the headphones. And they look so good. I actually love it. And I'm not even like a green lover, but I just thought that that would look super cute with the white. Or no, actually it's like a beige. But I think they came out magnificent. And I will link that pattern down below. I got it on Etsy. Pretty cheap. It was like $6. So I do love it. Of course, I lost the other button. It fell somewhere, but these are the buttons I'm going to go with. So they're like little wood buttons. Super cute. I have 2 of those. Like I said, one of them fell, but yes, I'm excited to finish those up so I can start going to the gym with them, have my music, and look super fashionable in my granny style. So I'll be happy with that. um yeah, so that was crocheted, and it's funny because like I haven't crocheted in like a while. The last one I did was the balaclava for my mom, and I do love crocheting. I do. It it definitely brought back some love when I was working on the headphone covers, because I I started with crochet, so I mean I still love it. It's just I've been loving knitting a whole lot more. But the crocheting the headphones, I was like, oh my God, you know what? I gotta get back into it, and I gotta finish my mushroom rug that I have going. I was supposed to finish that years ago, like 2 years ago, maybe even three, truthfully, that I had first started the mushroom rug, and it's the mushroom from Mario, and it's super cute. It really is, but I just kind of fell off of granny squares at that time, so I just kind of gave up on it at that point. But I still have it. I have all the squares that I've done so far, and I think I had to do like 70 more or something. So at that point, I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not into it. It's not gonna happen right now. And it has been a work in progress for 3 years. So that's not good. That's the longest whip I've ever had. So I gotta work on that for sure. Um, and I want to finish it because I want to put that. I think I'm gonna let my husband have it because he's been wanting a rug for his office. So I think it would look really good in there. Um, so I gotta get on that for sure. But like this kind of brought back up like, okay, you don't hate crochet as much as you thought, because I whipped those up in an hour and a half, and I was like, I actually do miss granny squares, and it kind of brought back like, oh, crocheting is so much quicker than knitting. I can have an outcome the same day, and I forgot about that, and that actually did make me happy. Instead of waiting, which like I'm not mad at the waiting process that knitting brings on, but it can be a little more daunting, the longer a project takes and you're waiting for the results. And like with crocheting, you can have something that same day. So I'm definitely going to get on that, get back to crocheting. And that made me realize that. So I do love the headphones. I can't wait to wear them. I should be sewing on the buttons this week. That's the plan. I'm supposed to go to the gym tomorrow. So they may not be done for that. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. So the next thing that I worked on in these past 2 weeks, which it looks like it's totally like not done, but it is. It was small needles, and I don't know how to cut off the tails and all that stuff because it just ended up being so small. But it was the Cozy Keys pattern, which I don't even remember the name of the designer, but everything that I talk about is going to be linked in the description below. But I made this cute little sweater for my key. And I know it's so silly, but it was on 2.5 millimeter needles. So I had to break out the DPNs for this. And I don't know what it was. Like I was just like, I really think that's super cute. And it's helpful because, like when you get home and it's dark, you don't know which key is which. And this happens to me literally all the time. And it's funny because she says it in the pattern about like, are you sick of fiddling with all your keys trying to figure out which one is which when you're holding all your groceries and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, like I completely related to that. So I'm like, I need to have a sweater for my house key. So I know exactly. I didn't do it for any other ones. So I'm like, I know exactly which one is my front door. Works out perfectly. And it's just this cute little sweater for your key. So I thought that was cute. It's silly, but I actually didn't mind working it. It took me, I guess, like maybe like 3 hours, but it's just because the needles are so small and you're working with such small spaces, kind of like doing the sleeve, having to pick up the stitches for the sleeve was like insane. But I actually didn't mind it. It was cute. So that's my little key sweater. Yeah, and it's super cute. But like the tails are still out there, so looks kind of ragged, but hey, it works for my purposes. It completely works for me, and I'm happy about that. So that was another one that I finished pretty quick, and it was like the headphones, the sock, and the little key cozy. It was like working on the sweater for 3 weeks. I kind of needed to break it up a bit because it was just like a lot. Like a lot. Not gonna lie, it's a big sweater. I did a 2XL in the pattern. So it took me longer than I expected. I thought that I could have the sweater done in 2 weeks. But it's okay. It's still not fully done. I do have to weave in the ends and block it. I'm going to wet block it. But it came out wonderful. So, here we go. This is the zipper sweater by Petite Knit. It's all done. There's one sleeve. I'm trying to get it all in the camera here. There's the second sleeve. There's the body. And the zipper. Oh my God. This was the first time, like I told you, I was like really nervous about the zipper, right? First time ever putting a zipper on a knitted object. So here's the test. Let's see. You guys are here with me. Woo! And I did hand sew that on. So that is wonderful. It came out wonderful. There's the back. And it just looks, God, it just looks amazing. Like, honestly, I had my dad try it on last night just to make sure all the sizing was good before I was to wet block it. And he loves it. The only thing is that the sleeves are a little short, but I told him like it's gonna stretch out once I do the wet blocking. So I'm definitely gonna get that done today. I gotta weave in the last little bit of ends and then get it nice and wet, stretch it out, and let it dry. So that is super exciting because I started this on March 2nd and I finished it on the 23rd. So that was exactly 3 weeks that it took me. And I am so proud of how it came out. I was really nervous about doing a petite knit sweater and in general because like she just seems she's so popular, all of her pattern designs, and you think it's going to be really complex, and it really wasn't, and I'm so glad that I did it. The only modification that I did make, which I kind of wish that I didn't in a way because I wanted it to be more of a challenge, but at the same time, once I was done with the ribbing on the body, I was just like, I want to cast it off. I don't want to have to deal with anything new at this point. Like, I just want to get it done. So on the body ribbing and the ribbing for the cuffs, you're supposed to do the Italian bind off. And I don't know how to do that. I haven't done that yet. And I'm sure it's not super hard. It kind of reminds me of the Kitchener stitch, but it seems a little more involved. So I wasn't really prepared for that. I am gonna try it though on a different pattern, like a smaller one, just to see if I can do it. Um, because it is something that I should know how to do for sure. Like, it's just like one of those knitting things that like you should know if you expect to like progress. So I'm definitely gonna work on that. Um, and hopefully I get it down. But for this, like, I didn't want to try anything new. It was like I worked this hard. I'm not trying to have something like that mess it up completely, because that would have just literally just pissed me off, you know. So I just did a regular cast off in pattern with the 1x1 rib for the body and the sleeves, and I think it looks great. No issues. The other thing that I am going to modify, I'm just waiting for the elastic to come. My dad wants it a little more cinched at the bottom of his waist. So I'm going to put elastic along the body ribbing. Hope for the best with that. Never put elastic in anything crochet or knitted. So we're gonna see how that goes. But I got 2-inch elastic coming because it's exactly 2 inches on the bottom ribbing part here. So I'm gonna just have that on the inside lining, so it'll cinch up a bit. So we're gonna see. You know, we're trying new things, and but I'm so glad that he loves it, and it came out so good. Like I said, I'm so proud of myself that it came out the way it did. Like, oh, just I'm actually like in awe of how good it is. Um yeah. So I I actually really do want to make another one. And of course, my little sister, she was like, "Oh, I love that. I need one." So I might be making another one right away. Um, but it is going to get a little crazy over here because I still need to start on the bath toy hammock pattern for the dog toys. I wanted to work on my sweater that I wanted to make, the woolly sweater, but I'm kind of gonna ditch that plan until it kind of gets back around to being cold again. Um, just because I don't really want to make a sweater and then it's just gonna sit there until then. So, and hopefully I'm gonna lose weight anyway by then. So I don't really want to do that. So I'm not gonna make myself the woolly sweater yet, but I do have to do the hammock. I really want to start on all the things that I have. Like, I have so many patterns that I have saved. I'm like, I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work. Oh my god, there's so many. But it's just like I only have 2 hands. And it's really sad that we only have 2 hands because I want to work on like 2, 3 projects at a time. But you know, I only have so many needles too. So, and a lot of the patterns I'm seeing, like this one pattern I wanted to do, it was calling for 3.25 millimeter needles for a sweater. And I'm like, what? Like, that seems really small. So, and I don't even have those on circular needles. So that kind of comes into play too. You know, I'm not going to buy more needles. So I am thinking about, I'm waiting to hear from her, but I'll show you the green that I'm thinking about for. So this is the color that I'm thinking about for my little sister for the zipper sweater. It's a green and it's a DK weight. And I think it looks really good. It feels really good. But yeah, this is what I'm thinking for her. And she would be like, she would probably be either a small or a medium. I'm thinking probably more of a small. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking for her. Just have to wait to hear from her if she likes that green or not. But as far as the bath toy hammock, I'm most likely just gonna do that in, like, beige maybe. I do have a lot of beige. That calls just for like, a worsted weight yarn. The gauge doesn't matter, but it says use like big needles. So I'll probably do like a 7.5 millimeter for it. Probably just any color, really. It doesn't matter. Like, it's going to be covered in dog toys anyway. So, I'm thinking like it'll be good because I can put my cat toys in there too. So, yeah, I'm going to start that probably today because, you know, I can't not have a project. So, after I weave in the ends on the sweater and start the blocking for that, I'm probably gonna jump right in and cast that on. So I'm excited about that. And then, like I said, I do want to start working more on my mushroom rug. So I'm gonna try to get on that too this week at some point. I have to count the squares and see how many I was off still. Because I do remember the blue that I was using for like the face of the mushroom. Or not the face, it was the head. You know how the head of the mushroom is like red and white, I think. I think I had run out of the blue that I was doing because I was going to do blue instead of red. So I don't know how I'm going to try to correct that. There might just be one or two or a couple like that are like green or something because I'm not about to go to the store and buy more yarn. I have plenty of yarn. I'm not gonna do that. If it comes down the line that I get blue at some point, then I'll just take it apart and put the blue in there. The one that I'm missing, you know? It's not a big deal. Like I said, it's just gonna be going into my husband's office. He's gonna love it. He's a big gamer, so I think he's gonna like that. And like I said, it's been in the process for so long. I just gotta work on it at this point. Yeah. And then the other thing I'm thinking, like, I do want to make something else for myself. I know, like, it's like I'm always working on stuff for other people, and like, it's like I love to do it, but in between, I gotta make something for myself too. So I can have something. So I do want to make myself some type of wearable, maybe even some type of pullover. I like the Andrea Mowry patterns, a couple of them. I can't remember the names right now. I think it was like the Traveler. I don't remember, but I do like a couple of her things. The only thing I'm concerned about is kind of is it gonna be good for spring and upcoming, you know what I mean, upcoming weather? Because I don't want to make something that then is just gonna sit there until winter. So I guess that'll be kind of a project to decide what kind of yarn and how it's gonna look and all the things. So I'm gonna work on that and see what I can do for myself. Um, Try to figure something out because I mean, I guess I do have stuff going for myself because I'm making the socks. I made the cozy key. You know, I'm not completely neglecting myself, but I want something like wearable that I can wear out that you could see, that I could show off. You know. So yeah, I'm gonna think on that. And there's so many projects. I know I've talked about so many that like I haven't even started. So I have to get some type of planning um in the works because everything is all over the place. And like I said, I wish I could knit everything at all time, and that's just not possible. So I'm gonna think it over, but that's all that I have today. Those are all the things that I've been working on. And if you want to see how it continues or what I'm going to work on next, join me, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.